Okay, stop scrolling. I want you to spread the word like you spread bacteria around your family and friends. See, not all spit is bad. And in this video, we're going to talk about spit as a vehicle for transferring bacteria, good and bad, to your family and friends. You see, most of us undervalue our saliva, the spit in our mouth. And we don't understand it, we don't know what it can offer us, so we don't utilize it. And it can be such value when it comes to teeth and mouth health. And today we know that mouth health impacts whole body health. So understanding saliva is critical. And it is a part of the science of oral health that I think has been undervalued, underappreciated, and in fact ignored by dentistry as a whole. Most of the time, the only time dentists talk about saliva is when they're buying a new tube to suction it out of your mouth, because it's very annoying when they're trying to do work in your mouth to have the liquids. But if we move away from that and actually start to think about the value of saliva. You see, saliva is an incredible liquid that moisturizes your mouth, and it, in that process, covers or should cover all the tooth surfaces, all the surfaces of your mouth, and it brings to your teeth minerals that actually can go into your teeth and repair any that are broken or lost or damaged or missing. And in that way, it will strengthen your teeth. People always ask me, how do I strengthen my teeth? By allowing your teeth time to interact with the spit in your mouth. That's that simple. However, we also have to understand that in this liquid are bacteria, hundreds of them. And there are good ones, and there are bad ones. And there are some that are really bad. And these bacteria float around, kind of like the little microbes and little tiny fish in the ocean. They are always moving around, always circulating. Some get attached to your tooth surfaces. About 80% actually get attached to your tooth surfaces and the surface of your mouth. The other 20% is constantly floating around. They interact with the bacteria that float around out of the back of your nose and down your throat. It is literally a vehicle that carries the saliva around, also shares it with people around you. It is nature's way of sharing bacteria. You don't really share a lot otherwise, but we share a lot when we talk to people, when we hug them, when we kiss and interact. We are sharing our bacteria, good or bad. And I'm sure you would prefer to be sharing good ones. So most of what I teach is how to do that. How do you make your mouth a healthy place so you can share these good bacteria? But it's more than that. If you have a healthy mouth with lots of good bacteria, they also defend you. Your saliva will be full of immune cells to defend you from things like sore throats and colds. Interestingly, talking to people, I find out that most people are aware of saliva from a point of view of if they have a cold, maybe they won't kiss their partner or they won't kiss their children to try to avoid sharing those sore throat bacteria with one another. But we want to embrace the idea that we make our mouths healthy and then do share them with one another. You can be a grandparent who's very confident about the quality of your saliva and your mouth health, and that when you interact with your children and grandchildren, this is a positive and good interaction, and that you're not passing along periodontal disease. Now, you can't get rid of these bacteria in your saliva mechanically. Think about it. There is no way to sift out the bacteria in your mouth that are floating in this liquid. You can't see them. And you can't get rid of all the liquid in your mouth. That would give you dry mouth. That isn't a good thing either. So how do you clean away these bacteria? And the easiest way is to limit the numbers of times you eat and drink a day. So you give your saliva resting time. You give it time to organize itself. One of the best ways to get good saliva into your mouth is to stimulate it, to create a special flow. One of the attributes of xylitol, which is the product I recommend you take in the form of mints or gum or even as a granular form, a tiny amount on a spoon at the end of a meal, it is going to stimulate a flow of this healthy saliva into your mouth. This healthy saliva is going to feed the good bacteria along with the xylitol. Together, it is that interaction. You don't have to swish the xylitol around your mouth. The xylitol is bringing the saliva in, and then with the xylitol dissolved in the saliva, it will feed the good bacteria everywhere in your mouth. We want to develop this healthy biofilm, this healthy ecosystem, this healthy environment. And you do that by having these periods, these intermissions between meals where you don't eat or drink anything. So there are ways to make your saliva even healthier, and that is by having foods that actually support salivary health. They are mainly the green leafy vegetable foods. Celery, beets actually happen to be a very good food for salivary health. These foods will come in to the saliva in your mouth and then actually feed the good bacteria directly. They will also, some of them, boost the flow of saliva. The watery foods are really good, like celery in particular, will boost the flow of saliva. Now, there are salivary glands on each side of your cheek. There are salivary glands under your chin. And there's even a salivary gland at the back of your nose. And then there are lots and lots of little ones. And when you have xylitol, it pulls saliva from most of these channels into your mouth, and you will get very highly mineralized salivary flow. If you get chewing gum to try and improve your salivary health, I'm going to recommend that you only chew it for 2 to 10 minutes. If you keep chewing it for hours or an hour, you are getting a different kind of saliva that comes from your cheeks. And it is saliva that's generated by the up and down movement of your jaw when you're eating. When you're eating, you need a different kind of saliva. You need a thinner one that's more liquid to help you swallow the foods. And it's full of enzymes to help you digest these foods. That isn't what your mouth is looking for to improve the bacteria health. So you'll get far more benefit from chewing gum if you put it in your mouth, chew it for 2 to 10 minutes, and then get it out of your mouth, and then do not eat or drink for an hour afterwards. So if you have sisters and a mother, or you are a mother with daughters, it is your community that you want to share this information with. You want to spread the word as much as we spread our bacteria around our circles of family and friends. And in college, you're in new circles, you may well find that your mouth feels different. It's so important to be protected. And if you are in an environment where you think you may be picking up bacteria that you don't want to pick up, you're kissing somebody new in your life that you think may have gum disease or cavities, or you know they do, you may want to protect yourself from the bacteria that you might be getting into your mouth for the first time. And over the years, I have helped people by suggesting my complete mouth care system as a really great defense. If you're playing defense, I had a hygienist friend whose husband would not improve his mouth health, and she wanted to be protected, and she was able to test her mouth health regularly. And so she got on my complete mouth care system, and we found 10 years, 12 years later, she was incredibly protected from pathogens that she did not want to pick up. So don't be scared. This is not a moment to be paranoid that people around you are spreading bacteria. We need that. We just need to support our immune system, our immune health, our digestive health, eat a healthy diet, do the things you know you should do, exercise a little bit and sleep well, try to de-stress, and then enjoy your family and friends and share these great bacteria with those that you love.